Thank you everybody for watching. Appreciate it. We're gonna call up some other panelists. This is the writer, Julie Cameron.
We're going to go ahead and switch to the live chat. By the way, welcome to the
Brianna White.
Show. This is our Sanity Host.
Also, our executive producer, you are Aaron.
We're receiving a alert. Let's go ahead and get to the live chat.
Our associate producer, where are you? Eric Cat. There we go. And I'm going to call up also my co-producer, Chris Winter. Chris, come on up.
We just got finished reading.
So yes, thank you so much for watching the film. I appreciate that you took your time to come up here. And I don't know, what are we going to do?
Well, why don't you tell us how this project got started?
Well, this project got started with Julia. Huh. And before we go on, I do have a surprise for Julia and Brianna. Hold on one second here.
It's on its way.
It's kind of a tradition. And I'll buy you guys a beer afterwards. Okay. Anyway, I hope you enjoy those, and thank you for this one. But yeah, we started with my producer Howard Nash, who's in New York, and he could not be here. But Howard is the one who founded the script that Julia wrote. So Julia, if you want to take it away, and then you and Howard are the ones who signed the deal in, I think, February 2014.
Yeah, you're right. When I first talked to Howard, I remember when it happened because I was about 6 months pregnant and driving in my car. And he's like, "Oh, this is a great script, and what are your plans for it?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't really have a lot of plans other than to give birth and raise a child in the immediate future." And then we talked a little bit, and I think when you and I met, I was 8 months pregnant. That's when you remember things. Like, oh yeah, how big was I back then? But yeah, I wrote the script a couple years before. I wrote most of the script on a flight to Brazil, where I'm from. I was going to visit my family, and I wrote about like 80% on that 12-hour flight of the script. And it took me like a couple months to write the rest. I've always liked this idea of, each choice you make in your life shapes your future a little bit, even if you don't know it. Like, it could seem like a really simple choice when you're making it. And, and I've always wondered, I'm like, what if you could meet yourself that made different choices? And what would that person's life be like?
Well, that's what attracted me to your script, and it is basically a psychological piece. You have our two main characters, Brianna and Danny Curtis, and you have Michael Pugliasi, who could not be here because he's in Canada, but he plays Neil Curtis, and they're a loving, happy couple, very bright, cheery, they have a wonderful life. But then they see their parallel selves, and the complete opposite. They're dark, they're broody, they're psychopaths. I personally think they are. But think about it, though. Annie Curtis is bright and cheery, but then her alter ego, I guess you could say it's her alter ego, her parallel self, is a psychopath. Does that mean that she has it in her to be a psychopath? That's what I liked about this script. I thought it was just, very film. And Brianna really brought it out.
Yeah, I was going to ask Brianna, like, how did you, well, I'm curious how the film was shot, but I'm curious too, if you, maybe you could talk a little bit how, but I'm also curious particularly about how you play both characters and how you sort of kind of modulate those performances.
Yeah, okay.
It's difficult because they were born the same person, you know, I like to think. So it's hard because you have to, it's a two sides of the same coin sort of thing. So it helps to kind of think of the character as they are on their very best day ever versus how they are on their very, very worst day ever. And they have, I think that's probably the best way that I could talk about how I kind of got into the choices that each character was making.
Well,
So I'm curious, like, did you shoot all of the one couple and then shoot all the other couple and created the editing, or did you go back and forth?
no, we shot the first 7 days with the real couple, Annie and Neil Curtis. And then we had a rap for Annie and Neil Curtis, and then they became their alter egos. And Brianna here had to spend how many hours dyeing your hair? Oh, that one, yeah. It was a couple hours to dye her hair.
Yeah, like 4 or 5,
And,
something like that.
Alicia, our makeup artist,
6 month process.
you're a wonderful makeup and hair.
And it did end up looking amazing. I was worried, but you did a good job.
I told you it was good. No, but yeah, she, she transitioned to parallel Annie Curtis over a couple hours. Now, Michael, he had that beard, right? That really 3 month growth of a beard, kind of like this. And so we took him to the barber.
Well, I'll tell you, so I was on set a couple days into the first part when it was regular Neil and Annie. And I saw blonde Annie, Brianna's there, and Neil, and everyone's happy-go-lucky. And then I had to leave, and I came back after we had switched over and were in the parallel.
For your cameo.
Right.
Did
But
you bring any pizza later?
I didn't. It got eaten up front.
I'm hungry.
So, but it was interesting watching the change in them. Brianna especially, not the physical, with the physical change, she was really able to go inside and was a whole different person. I mean, it was interesting even like at lunch breaks and at the craft table, different things to where you would just see her, and she was definitely carrying a different demeanor, playing it off and selling it wonderfully. Mike's a very fun, kind of fun-loving, as you guys probably picked up on, type guy. And even when he shaved his beard, he became uncomfortable trying to be stiff. So it was really interesting watching these two actors flip.
Well, this is a compliment for you, Brianna. But there were times when you, as Carol Annie, would just look at me for direction, and I was like, "Whoa, that's Carol Annie. She's gonna come at me with a frying pan." and then she smiled and became Brianna. I'm like, "Okay, it's fine."
But it was good because there are times you'd look at him and he'd leave the room and he'd look at me and go, "That was a little scary." And I'd go, "That's what we want, right?" And Alice is like, "She's nailing it," so it was good.
Now, for me, the best scene in the film, the money shot, is the hand hitting scene, and I hope everybody enjoyed that. But that was scene 69 in the film, and that was where basically the camera, we had to shoot you as real Annie. We did that several times. Then we shot you as parallel Annie, 5 hours later. During those 5 hours, it was the worst feeling and time for me, because what if the camera had moved? What if the lighting had changed? What if anything had happened? That would ruin anything. Or what if, the movements that we worked out?
Yeah, it was really like a choreography of a dance or something like that. It was like we had to count the beats and we had to double Jen. She did an amazing job.
Oh, Jen!
Yeah.
Jen played, her role is evil hands. So, hold up those hands. Now that hand, she was the one.
Those hands are stunned.
On the poster, yeah. So thank you, Jen. Jen, you did a wonderful job, and she was also our unit production manager on the film, and she kept the shoot going very smoothly. So thank you. Yeah.
So getting back, to the production process. I'm also curious. Did you how were things set up? Did you actually shoot in a house with multiple cameras, or did you have one camera and then shoot each scene? You must have had a tremendous map out where people are moving from room to room.
Well, this is a question for our DP and editor. His name is Emil Harris, and he is in this house, but he doesn't want to come up here. But I will answer the question for him. Basically, we shot with one camera, and he put marks on the floor. So then, because we had to shoot, was it the living room first, and the kitchen, and then we went to the dining room. But the cameras had to be placed, right? So then those marks were still there on the floor, and he worked with our gaffer Jorge Hernandez, who I don't know if he's in the audience, but with him, with his lighting, and Harris did an incredible job. Harris, he really did an incredible job. There he is. So, he was able to get us that look that we see in the film. But basically, we worked with just one camera, and we just had to plan the logistics. I'm just going to bring up another point. Eric Castier, he did the behind-the-scenes videography. He was so pivotal for scene 69, the frying pan hitting scene. Because without him, I would not have been able to see if real Annie and parallel Annie's takes would have worked. And when I saw it worked, I know some of you were there. I was like, yes! Because it worked. Oh my gosh, it worked. And I was like, we have a movie. It took 5 hours, but we have a movie. So yeah.
So the two shots were digitally composited then?
Yes.
I see.
Yes, it was.
We couldn't move the camera. That was the issue. So the camera couldn't move between the two takes. And the only other camera available on set basically was mine, because I'm doing the behind the scenes footage. So it's kind of neat. So I got to participate, not in just doing the normal behind the scenes thing, I got to help make the shot, because I was recording the monitor over Russell's shoulder.
Yeah.
And because again, we couldn't move the primary camera. And it was really neat. And then Russell actually took an editing software and did it on a laptop, made sure that it would work. It was really, really neat to watch.
Well, definitely got a gasp from this audience.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was taking a bathroom break, so I didn't know.
So I'm curious about the writing. You said it had taken, you'd done a lot of it, and then it took another couple of months for refining, but I'm wondering if it was difficult to map it all out in the writing from room to room, and from which camera the action was taking place. If that was in the script, or if that was worked out more, how that process worked.
Well, because of the nature of writing something that's found footage, I definitely did a little bit of directing when I wrote the script, which nobody loves. Directors don't love. But a lot of the things, like, okay, where...
I still love you. It's okay.
It's cool. We still love each other. It's fine. But a lot of things, like, is this Annie's POV cam? Is she playing to the camera right now? Like, where's this information coming from? Or is this, one of the still cameras that are going to be there throughout the entire shoot? And then, when she goes, okay, let's turn the cameras off, then where do we pick up again? Because the cameras are off. And I take those things seriously. I'm like, she really said that. Why would she turn these cameras on again? So even watching this again, I'm like, oh yeah, what's going to happen now? Because it's been a while. And, I've only seen it once before, too. So it's fun. It's fun when your own writing surprises you. But there was a lot of choreographing. Okay, so they're in the living room, and where's Parallel Annie coming from? And I think we even discussed when we were developing the script, this idea that she would figure out where the cameras are, Parallel Annie.
Yeah.
And some people are like, would she, I don't know, because there are no cameras on her side. But she has to.
Well, let me ask you, when Parallel Annie stared at you, were you freaked out? Did it freak you out?
Did I scare you all?
Well, not you, it was the character you're playing. So if it worked, and I personally thought, why wouldn't she look at the camera? Why wouldn't she? She owns that camera. She owns that house. She wants to be Annie Curtis. And that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, no, I remember when we were doing rewrites, everyone had an opinion, like, oh no, we shouldn't. Yes, we should. She would know the cameras are there. It's too big of a leap. I'm like, yeah, well, I think it has to happen. Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't hear, what was that?
She said if she hadn't turned the camera on to do one more shot before the baby came, would we see Parallel Annie again? And the answer is no. It's like those cameras are like, it's like when you put on a seance. You know, if you keep putting on a seance, the spirits will keep coming.
Actually, isn't the answer the sequel?
Well, yeah, exactly. The answer is the sequel. I'm still waiting for my check to start writing the sequel.
Let's open up to the audience. Yes.
Very engrossing. It had touches of some Twilight Zone episodes. My only suggestion is calling it the Blair Watch Project.
I like that. Let's do it. I like that.
Done. Well, I also want to, just before we go, a shout out to Chris Winters here. And Chris Winters was very pivotal with the Peterson Research Institute element of it, which is Robert Picardo's character. He runs this institute. And because of what we shot with Chris, this was after the shoot, we shot it as a pickup. And I have to give a shout out to Charles and Mickey and Emmanuel, my parents, and their thank you so much. They've been very supportive, and in this case they were even more supportive because we shot in their garage.
The dogs are barking all the time.
But
They would come downstairs and go, "You alright?" "I'm alright."
you know, the reason I mentioned this is because, and it was a line in the script, that Picardo's character sends them a video. So what was the video? So we created this world of testimonials, and I wanted to be very international. So we expanded it. And now we expanded it even to a comic book tie-in that we just successfully funded about a week ago. And I took a mental vacation because it was very, very, very tiring. So I know some of you in the audience have donated, and thank you. But no, it's I'm looking at this as kind of like a franchise, basically. You know, that we can expand. So whether it's a sequel to the film, whether it's a comic book or a TV series, I don't know. But if you think it has potential, and I do. You know, I definitely want to see that universe expanded. So I know Chris Winters was very pivotal in the post-production process to make that happen. And so is Eric Castier, who is going to be handling the comic book aspect of it. It's going to be drawn in the next couple of months.
There's actually also a full featurette of that video that's in the movie, the Peterson Research Institute video. We've actually shown it at some conventions and things like that when you weren't able to show the film. And so it's about like 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's also like a great piece that connects the film to what we're doing in the comic book. So it really kind of expands upon, like, in the film, because of budgetary constraints, you know, people are talking about what they saw or what they experienced. In the comic book, we get to show that. And we don't have to worry about budget issues or anything like that. As long as our artist can draw it, and he's an awesome artist, we can do anything we want.
Well, I know Annie Curtis, she makes a cameo in the comic book.
Myself as a drawing, that was kind
Yeah.
of neat.
And I will give you a hint, I'm not going to spoil the comic book, but it does involve pizza. Okay. But yeah, anyway, so that was...
Well, it's interesting that you should bring up the videos and the international aspect too, because I wouldn't want to push it too far, but there's an interesting, you know, the fact that that they speak to the expert on Skype, and that there's a lot of mediation happening, you know, and it's kind of interesting because they're dealing with alternate realities, but you know, in the film, they're also like in different spaces and communicating without being physically present, and I thought that was kind of an interesting subtext in the film.
That was Julia.
Yeah, it comes from, you know, having been living in the U.S. for 17 years, but my entire family is, you know, back home in Brazil. So yeah, a lot of things happen over Skype. If you have an entire relationship with someone in a different time zone.
And it subtly adds to the themes of the film, I think, in you know, some way.
Yeah, you know, cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you use the cameras to talk to people that are there and that are not there.
Right. Someone else? Yes.
Two questions. How did you get Picardo involved in your project? And the second question, what are your hopes in terms of this movie?
Picardo is a friend of the producer. This is actually my fifth time working with Ricardo. So he kind of did this film as sort of a favor. He came for a half a day, and he was very negotiable in terms of his rate. But I just hope Ricardo likes to work with us as much as we like to work with them. But that's why. As for distribution, well, what we're doing right now is trying to do a PR board. Whether it's the comic book tie-in or I'm going to be going to Ohio in about a week. I'm going to be going to Ohio to, it's called the Rathacon. So we're going to be screening the film there. We're going to be going to the Florida SuperCon, which is a major comic book convention in Miami in a couple months.
There's DevCon.
There's DevCon.
In Ohio, we have two events going on at the same time.
So there's a lot of Comic-Cons. Comic-Con seems to like Picardo. And, it should be apparent as to why, because he's a Star Trek actor in Atlanta. But anyway, so we have been purposely targeting them, and a lot of them have responded in kind. So right now we're trying to build up, the marketability of the film. And we do have distributors already, because we've had distributors for previous feature films. We're just holding off right now to see who will offer, I guess, the best price. So that's where we are right now.
Yes, Spectre.
I want to say I enjoyed the film, and the writing was excellent. It was the way it went from scene to scene. It made you, want to say, okay, what's going on here? What's going to happen? Brianna, I kind of I was getting upset with her because she did such an excellent job. I found myself sitting here saying, wait a minute, why are you getting upset with her? She's the actor. But because it's like, her and her husband was imposing on this other couple, and then I had to think about they're watching the opposite side of themselves. But she did such an excellent job that it made me say, well, why is she getting upset? Now the tables is turned on her, where she's watching her now, so. You did an excellent job. I really enjoyed it.
It's such a hard thing. You have to make the choice. You can't be confused. You have to make the choice of, am I really into watching this, or maybe now is not the best time? It's hard because there's this very odd theme of, like she said, voyeurism, of watching something that maybe you should or shouldn't be watching, or you have the right, or you don't have to be watching, and it's very conflicting, and it brings up some weird feelings of myself as a person. I'm making these choices. Am I? I don't know. It was very weird, but I'm hoping that it translated well. So I appreciate that feedback. Thank you.
You did, because it's like when you with the other person, it's like, okay, you were upset with her saying, if you do something to my baby, you're going to pay for it.
Right.
But then you didn't take consideration that when you gave her that note, it could have affected her in a negative way. So you did an excellent job.
Yeah, thank you.
There's, as I mentioned, of Hitchcock in the film, there's a little bit of Rear Window, I think. And
Totally.
Yeah.
And definitely Twilight Zone, like you mentioned earlier.
I got a question.
I just wanted to say, this would be an amazing television show. I think it would be a breath of fresh air on TV. And I went to film school. Well done.
Not here though, at USC.
No.
We went to film school elsewhere.
USC.
Don't tell anyone.
I had one question though. How long did it take to get the dye out of your hair? And I was thinking of the whole time.
Okay. So Mike
the
actually
production
got,
was generous.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Mike actually got to go to the barber and get his look professionally done.
Yeah.
We, talked it over in discussion, and I said, well, brunette from blonde to brunette is really easy. We could probably do it ourselves. And we managed. It was difficult. My hair turned completely gray at one point.
Whoa.
Because we tried to use a toner because it wouldn't last as long, and it was just a disaster. So after that 5 hours of painstaking torture, which I have so much photo documentation of.
Yeah, it's on the featurette too.
We talked again, and we agreed that the production would pay for me to go back to blonde with a professional hairstylist. And she did a really good job.
And you didn't go bald.
I didn't go bald.
Well, this explains why your alter ego is so upset and psychotic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, and you're probably glad, and we talked to Alicia here about this, we almost went with a wig.
Yeah, we did almost.
A
go
very
with
nice looking
True.
wig, but it still did not look real.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I think the straight hair.
Yeah, it would, and people, I think people would laugh. Yeah, probably. So I'm really happy with the way to this. In the end, it really worked.
I wanted to get talk about your the web series stuff, or the television things. Me and Russ were talking about that during the comic book thing, and we mentioned that. We said, hey, let's get the comic book thing going, and maybe we built a web series, like a YouTube thing or something like that, that channel. Because we already have a website and things that we can go to. But if I think our point is we want to see if the movie does well, distribution, and comic book, and people like both things because the comic book is visible to us. And if that happens, then we'll try to make it web series.
Well, I mean, if there is demand, we will supply. That's basically
yeah. In a nutshell.
Yeah, I did have a question for you. Which role did you like playing better? The good Annie or the bad Annie?
Oh, I love
That's
that
a good
question.
question. That's really hard to answer. I feel like the blonde Annie is a little bit more natural to myself. I don't know if y'all believe that, but it felt a little bit more natural. It's a little bit more fun to play. She's very lighthearted and, sometimes a little bit naive, but there's just nothing more fun than playing a good villain. There really isn't.
You did a good job.
Even more Parallel Annie time. I really would have.
Wow, Parallel Annie does show up at the very end. Who knows what happened there?
That's true. There's room.
That's true.
There's room for it. I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. It's so fun to be able to explore that dark side in a safe environment.
Well, I gotta reiterate, you scared the victims of it.
We have a question back here.
Yes, Russ, you touched on this being a franchise. And this is a question for you and the producers. At what point did you all kind of see this thing becoming a world, a transmedia type world, the franchise? When did this start to happen? Was it during the filming? Was it pre-production or post-production?
Well, it's very interesting you bring that up, Mr. Conley.
Exactly.
Because he is the major character in the comic book. And it's actually his case 285, which you saw in the end credits, is the reason, was the impetus, I guess, that I decided to branch off. But basically, his case was the only other case besides Annie and Neil Curtis that took place in Los Angeles, which wasn't, we just assigned, different cities, for whatever testimonies. We recorded about 35 testimonial videos, so I just assigned one. And his happened to be Los Angeles. So I'm going, oh, there's another Los Angeles case. So while we explore case 285, and that's what happened. And then we kept building on it, and we do see your parallel stuff, don't we?
I can tell you from a production side, as a producer, I went into this not even thinking big and moving and going beyond that. I read the script, thought it was fantastic writing. Howard and Russ and absolutely, I wouldn't be here otherwise. Howard and Russ and I talked, and I just thought, let's just do a fun movie, let's get it out there. And after kind of we got through and we saw how fun the world was that had been created, and then everyone kind of got creative and started exploring more. Well, what about case 285? And what about case 381? And what about case that? Then there's all these others that you can look into. These guys just started running with the idea. The next thing I know, Russ is telling me we're going to do a comic book, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. And Howard said, some of us are sitting back going, hold on a second here, let's just get this thing out. But it has spun off, I think, to some really cool potential. I think a television series would be gnarly. It would be rad to do case by case by case, So we'll see what happens as long as we get support.
I was sitting on Russ's couch, and we were talking about the cases coming out. And I have a lot of friends that live up internationally. And he said, hey, could you, I'm like, yeah, let me talk to some people. I got some people in India, I got some people in Pakistan, I got some people in South Africa. And when we sat down, I sat down and said, you know what? Parallel universe, alternate reality. There's nothing like that on the TV right now. Now you have someone just mentioned it earlier.
Fringe was on for a while.
Yeah, it's all like, what is it, the house that gets haunted all the time. Someone back in there. My mind shut
American Horror Story?
No, it's when they do a documentary of the house that's being haunted. Paranormal. The paranormal thing. But when you have the alternate reality in the parallel universe, there's so many stories that can be written. And I remember one time I was coming from driving LA to Arizona, and I said, Russ, I got this other story, and got this guy who's an actor. He looks in the mirror and he's like, okay, we got to get this thing done first. So I think that's how it all spawned out. And I want to.
Well, there is another interesting anecdote. First off, the house we shot at, it's a very nice house. It's a 100-year-old house. Some of the crew are saying that it was haunted.
It was. Okay, well, you can say that too. We heard voices.
Yes.
But there were no people.
There were a lot of flies.
There were a lot of flies, including some flies we digitally had to remove. We did. We removed the flies with visual effects.
Things fell off the wall.
Yeah, and the dishwasher went off once I know. It could be earthquake. It could be just a timer.
No, I'm telling you, there was one point where we all kind of freaked out because we heard someone in one of the side rooms talking, and Russ starts yelling, "Quiet on the set, quiet!" And everyone's looking around going, "What are you talking about?" And he and I think Harris were hearing in the headphones voices, and the rest of us were like, "What?" And we went and we looked in the room, and there wasn't anybody. I'm getting chicken skin again, thinking about it. We went outside and there wasn't anybody. We looked in the street, there was nobody. But these guys were hearing distinct voices in their headsets, so we're like, okay. Something's up.
And then it could be that we were shooting for 10 straight days and we got psychologically stressed out.
We had weird energy freaks on set that we
But at the same time, two of you at the same time?
Yeah, right. Actually quite a few more, but yes. But you know, there's actually one scene in the film, and it was very fortuitous, and then we'll go to the question, but it's the one where you set your husband on fire. Did you like that shot? Did everybody like that shot? Well, if you notice, the light dimmed right before, and that was actually not intentional. For some reason, the light kept dimming on set, and we played with it. And we thought maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's a sign, I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened. So, yeah. Who had a question?
For the writer, how did the film get absorbed into their attention?
Oh, how did Howard find my script? There is a website called Inktip that I sometimes submit scripts through Inktip, and that script was submitted a lot and got requested a lot and got read a lot. And I'm like, all right, finally I read something I wrote something people want to read. And yeah, it was one of my fastest scripts. I mean, I have things that I've written 10 years ago that I'm like, please, somebody make this. But this was like, yeah, when I wrote it, I wasn't even pregnant. I wasn't even thinking about getting pregnant, and now my daughter's only 2, so that's how fast it came to be. It was really quick.
Your daughter did visit the set.
She did.
Very cute.
Yeah, I think it was less than a year between my draft and Howard getting a hold of the script. Which is, it really, in filmmaking world, it's like nothing. It's like you blink and you have a movie.
Oh, Chalet, yeah, Chalet was at Brandon. She has had stage 4 leukemia. She's doing a lot better. She's actually going to be at the Rapidcon event in Ohio, and she's gonna, we're going to cross promote Occupants there. So, yeah, you're gonna be able to meet her. No, she is okay. Yes, thank you.
I had a comment for Julia. I think it's like kind of nitpicky, and like when it comes to things with continuity, like a small comment at the beginning, and you see if someone will kind of nitpick or something. And there was nothing like that, and I was like, okay, it's good catch. But what I really liked was when I saw the introduction of the parallel universe, how sort of the transition and the introduction and how you learned more
it gelled smoothly. Like at first I thought it was going to be jarring to go from this world to this world to this world, but the way it actually was done was pretty seamless. So I really enjoyed that.
Well, thank you. I'll take credit, even though I think I think a lot of that was the execution of the script itself. But I'll take credit because I'll take all the credit. I can take.
For you all.
It all
More direction, of course. I know.
it did start with the writing, but then building on the writing, we wanted to distinguish the parallel world, but at the same time make it similar, because these are the same people, right? So if you notice the placements of picture frames or tables or whatnot, they're pretty similar. That's why if you don't look carefully, you're going to think, oh, it's just a little glitch or something. I mean, but if you look carefully, you notice that in the parallel world, everything is angular. Everything is monochromatic. Everything is darker. There's something about it. It's subtle, but it is there. And it's something that I discussed with Emil Harris over there, Tatiana Kolonov, who's our production designer, and Nina Manelli, who's our costume. And we came up with a look that we wanted. And yes, you two Alicia's looking at me there. Give me daggers. You too. But yeah, it's a collaboration. It took everybody to come up with that vision, and we did think about it quite a lot in pre-production. We wanted to make sure that we had the right look, and I hope we were able to translate it properly on the screen. Sure.
Yeah, I have a sort of a statement and a question. I kind of thought that Darth Annie was really sexy.
That's her new name forever.
Yeah. The stillness.
Darth Annie was what?
Isn't it Annie Kim?
Yeah. Darth Annie, Darth Vader. The dark
Stop now,
side.
everybody.
And I thought of a title, when you do the TV series, it would be interesting, just called it Alt. And people say, why is it called? And you know that it's an alternate universe. My question is, how did you find the place to cross over underneath that little table? Why did you pick that little place where you dropped up and it would disappear?
We're going to quote Annie in the film. I don't know. She found a way. We purposely left that ambiguous because we want you to decide. Just like right now, we want all of you to decide what happened. What happened at the end of the film. So, I can't answer that.
And I think it speaks to
Yes.
Darth Annie's perseverance.
Okay.
to how like truly determined she was to like, you know, once you realize that your life isn't what you thought it was, like what lengths will you go to change it? And I think that speaks to that a little bit.
Well, I'll also bring up one more point. Carol Annie, for me, she's a very tragic character.
Yeah.
I mean, she really hit the pits, you know. She miscarried her baby, and then she found out that her husband did it. I mean, that's why she went nuts. That's my take on it. Yeah. She went insane. She totally lost it. So she's not really dark. Well, she is kind of dark then, yeah, because she's a tragic character too.
And not only that, she finds a new purpose, right? She's like, I'm going to take real Annie's baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Dark Annie. That's my favorite character. I do. Watching Brianna just like twist this thing around and be like this other person, like as I watch it and even being there, I'm like, I'm loving this character. Mike was great. You guys, I think some people laughed, you know, at some of the points, and initially, he's like, I wasn't trying to be funny, but it just worked to where he was pretty funny, but then watching it that dark, I've loved the Dark Annie issue.
He was always supposed to be comic relief, though.
Right.
He always was. He always was.
And he did that.
And the voice of reason, in a way, because a lot of things are, you know, insane that are happening. So he has to be comic relief and the voice of reason.
And even the banter at the beginning, I love between you two, where like you're saying, he's that comic relief and reason when Annie's just focused on the project. So it worked well.
I mean, who is the main character of Occupants? It's Annie Curtis. It's always Annie Curtis, not Neil Curtis. He's a major supporting, but he's still a supporting character. It is Annie Curtis.
Cool.
And I'm not saying that to you're wonderful. I'm saying that because it's really...
Yes, you are. Mike's not even here. You're number one.
If you also notice in the film, and this was done, you know, I talked about this with our DP, the guy with the cap, who is the focus of the shot. Because, somebody has to have the focus. It's Annie Curtis. We decided that in pre-production. Because she, again, is the main character, which is the reason why Occupants exists.
Well, thank you. It's a very fun movie, and we really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
I'm curious to know if this was a television series, and I wanted to listen to it a couple times to check it out.
Come over and help us close it out.
Awesome.
Okay, so we'll start an Indiegogo fund, and then
Everybody is departing. Let me go ahead and there we go. Hello, hello. Yes, everybody is departing. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully, looks like they're taking a couple of publicity photos. But hopefully, yes, Russ did tell me that he would come over and chat with us briefly. So we'll just kind of hang out here and just take a look. It is very exciting to do this broadcast. I have missed all of my friends out there in the Cosmic Cafe, and it has been my new job has been taking all of my new time. In fact, I was in Houston for a week for training. I'll be going back to Houston in July. But speaking of which, in the end of June, they talked about the Comic-Con in Florida. I will be going to the Comic-Con and broadcasting there, and I'm very hopeful that I will be actually getting to interview Robert Picardo. Yes, indeed. Yes, so no promises, but he is expected to show up at the Comic-Con, so hopefully I will get the opportunity to interview him. But until I actually do it. But look for that. I think it debuts June 30th, a Friday. So I'll be flying there on June 29th, a Thursday, if I remember correctly on my calendar. But yes, I no longer am doing the Monday through Friday shows. The last show was with Denise Marcel, and that was when I was broadcasting live from Roswell, New Mexico, and that was a lot of fun having Denise on, and I'm hoping to have her brother Jesse Marcel, the grandson of Major Jesse Marcel, on the show here in the near future. He's got some really super exciting events going on as well. So we'll be doing these shows ad hoc, and when I get more of them scheduled in advance, then I'll try and put up a calendar of some sort or announcement on the website, or certainly tweet them out. So make sure you watch a tweet. I've been sending out some tweets today, and mentioning this event, and also on our Facebook page. So make sure you get to our Twitter and Facebook page, both Twitter /Cosmic Cafe Show. Facebook is Facebook /Cosmic Cafe Show. And let's see here, and of course our YouTube channel where you're watching this, either this replay or maybe you're watching it live right now. I'm not actually logged into the YouTube channel. When I do that, when I'm on the mobile, it kind of tends to crash things. So I am going to put on the wide shot. I'm going to go see if I can grab Russ and bring him over here. I know there's a lot of people wanting to take pictures and talk to him, so hang tight. I'm going to go on the wide shot and see if I can bring him over.
You're on the big screen. Okay, so Russ is, they're taking photos and all that, but he said he'll come over, so we'll just wait here
It'd be great to have him help us close out tonight's episode, a very special episode of Cosmic Cafe. Oh gosh. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I tell you, watching the movie, it was fantastic. I actually was given the honor of given the script. I got to get a copy of the script from Russ, the director's version of the script, and I got to read that. Gosh, what was it? Back in December, I think it was, when he just after he came on the very first episode. It was mid-December, and he came on to promote the movie. Using the trailer. And in fact, I have the trailer here. I should just bring up the trailer so that way you can kind of see the trailer. I was not allowed to live broadcast it, and obviously it wouldn't have turned out very good here anyway. So let me turn on the trailer. I think I got that right here. And you can watch the 2-minute, I think it's about a 2-minute trailer. Gives you an overview of Occupants, the movie, just in case you haven't seen that, but here it is.
Hello, I'm documentary filmmaker Annie Curtis, and this is 30 Days of Clean Living. So I've set up cameras all over the house. They're going to be recording 24/7 and uploading all the footage to a remote access server.
Are we really going to be doing that?
Like it or not, it's happening. Let's see how it goes. Dig in.
Satisfying.
Absolutely. It just switches over out of nowhere. As unbelievable as it sounds, I think we just recorded an alternate reality. It alternates between filming our world and another parallel world.
There's a connection. It must be getting stronger. Annie, what happened?
Who's hers? Who's here?
What?
The other Annie. Okay, let's see our first set of footage from the video feeds.
Okay, there we go. That was a trailer, and believe it or not, that trailer is winning independent film festival awards and accolades all over the country, from East Coast to West Coast, lots of different film festivals. It's been featured and has won. Also, a lot of different comic book, Comic-Con type events. They have like a independent film trailer screenings there as well. So Occupants has been winning awards. You can kind of see there in the lower left screen the kind of the screenshot I took of their Facebook page, and you can see some of the awards. They've added a bunch more since I took that screenshot. So you can definitely stay current on all of their Occupants, on what the latest is, by just going to occupantsthemovie.com, occupantsthemovie.com, or just put in Occupants the Movie in Facebook, and it'll get you over there to their Facebook, and you can see all the awards. But most importantly, they have a calendar of all the appearances of the different film festivals and Comic-Cons where they're going to be displaying this. And now the feature length is going to be, I believe it's going to be previewed again in June in Arizona. I believe there's an event where they're actually going to screen the entire movie, so you definitely want to make sure you get to occupantsthemovie.com and go ahead and get that screening as well. With that, I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the wide shot, see if I can grab Russ. I know they keep pulling them left and right. Let me just see if I can do that. I'll be back as quickly as possible.
I've asked like storyline. It's around French Street off of Main. It's right underneath the water. You want to help me close out the show? Quick thing.
Okay, so here we go.
I asked you a question.
There you are.
Hey.
Let me scoot.
About me.
Here, I'll move over here.
Which way? There. Oh, okay, there we go.
So,
okay,
who do we have here?
I don't know. So,
oh, am I on here?
Oh, here, let's get Chris
I
in
gotta go
here.
this way.
Hey, we
Let's get Chris in here.
Well, we had to squeeze in.
Wait a minute. Yeah, let's
this is very
there we go.
familiar. Hey,
Yeah.
how you doing?
All right, so we have Russ over that way. We have Chris over that way. We have an intruder behind us. Call security. Tim, right? Tom?
Yes, doing the Occupants. Yes, Tim.
Tim, yeah. Okay,
Call him
good.
285.
Yeah, you guys should remember I interviewed him with those two clowns.
Yeah, these two clowns.
Yeah.
These guys
So,
here.
anyways, wanted
No
to.
comment.
Please help me close out the episode. The battery's going low on my laptop here, so we're going to have to end the broadcast. Any thoughts for tonight's event, Russ?
Well, I'm just happy.
Thank you very much. Chris, how about you? No.
Success. Yes. Success. After I kill him, then I will explain. No, I'm just very happy that people showed up. I'm happy. Thank you to the Cosmic Cafe show for doing this for us.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
No, this is very surreal. I hope people enjoyed the film, and I'm just really, really blessed, very happy to have friends like Timothy and Chris here.
By the way, Russ isn't normally that short. It's just we're on a
he's
slope,
scooping
so
down, yeah.
he's like, yeah, there we go.
He got a receipt. We paid for ice, and the receipt was 777. I told him, I said,
Oh, go buy a lottery
it's a
ticket.
777 now.
Yeah.
And boom! And then tonight it was like a total success. So
Yeah,
There
it
it
was
is.
awesome.
well,
Yeah.
I am just very, very grateful to everybody. I mean, it takes collaboration, and we're all family. So thank you so much. Watch
out for me and
Tim.
And we're at USC. Fight on.
USC, that's right.
Right on,
that's right.
yes.
All right.
I'm an alumni. I love this school. Thank you so much, USC, for having us here.
Oh, well, thank you for helping me close out the show. As you can see, the theater is empty, everyone. My battery is running low, so I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Good night,
later.
everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
And I'm going to shrink.
You're going to shrink. All right. Well, with that, everybody's shrinking. Everybody is tuning out. As you can see, our hashtag CCS Live. So please, follow our events. Like I said, I'm no longer doing a Monday through Friday events for the time being with my new job. It is too much to do that. So I just wanted to make sure you follow us on CCS Live. And with that, have a great Saturday evening. And or let's see, today's Thursday. Oh, so you saw Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So hey, y'all have a good one, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. They're all talking in the background. Bye-bye. Occupants movie.